of your thoughts, and let tonight's tale bring you peace. Heather and Iris, Heritage of the Singing Meadow. This story is about Heather's enchanting encounter with Iris, the spirit of the singing meadow, and the legacy she promises to keep alive. Heather wandered through the singing meadow, a magical place her grandmother often described with tenderness and nostalgia. Every step she took on the emerald green carpet covered with tiny wildflowers felt like stepping back in time. The meadow was alive with melodies, a gentle hum that danced through the air like whispers from another age. It was a place where the earth seemed to breathe, laughing in colorful tunes known only to those who truly listened. Heather paused to absorb the symphony, feeling the rich heritage of generations wrapped around her like a warm shawl. Her grandmother had always told her stories of Iris, the spirit of the meadow, whose songs had enchanted many travelers. On this warm afternoon, the sky above was a brilliant azure, dotted with fluffy clouds that floated like ships in a gentle sea. Heather found herself drawn to a particular spot, where the violet blooms of iris flowers swayed gently in the breeze. She closed her eyes and could almost hear the sweet, ethereal voice of Iris weaving through every petal. Just then, a soft breeze tousled her hair, carrying with it the faintest sound of singing. Heather opened her eyes and saw Iris, appearing as though she was formed from mist and sunlight. Her presence was as gentle as the meadow itself, her features imbued with the grace and beauty of nature. Iris held out her hand, inviting Heather to join her in the dance of her ancient songs. Heather's heart filled with joy, and she took Iris's hand, stepping into a world where history and spirit intertwined in harmony. Together, they moved to the rhythm of the earth, their dance telling a story that transcended time. The meadow seemed to ripple with energy, and Heather could feel the legacy of those who had come before, their spirits echoing in the loafing tunes. As they danced, Iris revealed the secrets of the meadow, stories of love, hope, and resilience woven into every melody. Heather realized that she now had the responsibility to pass down these tales to the next generation, ensuring the heritage of the singing meadow was never forgotten. When the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, Heather sensed it was time to part. She thanked Iris for the gift of knowing and promised to tell the world of the magical, singing meadow. Heather left with a heart full of love and an unbreakable connection to her heritage. Now, let's continue with a peaceful story. Fala and Animate Safe Adventure. This story is about Kala and Anemone's journey to a magical grove, emphasizing the importance of safety both in terms of place and companionship. In a quaint little village nestled between lush, rolling hills and sparkling blue waters, there lived a kind-hearted young girl named Kala. Her hair was as dark as the richest soil, and her eyes reflected the emerald green hues of the surrounding forests. Kala had a unique friendship with a wise and charming toad named Anemone, whose skin shimmered like wet foliage after gentle rain. Despite his small stature, Anemone was known far and wide for his sharp mind and caring nature. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold, Kala sat by the window of her cozy room. She gazed out at the stars beginning to twinkle in the vast night, feeling a sense of wonder and excitement. Suddenly, a soft croak broke her reverie. It was Anemone, perched on the sill, with a twinkle in his wise eyes. Philippa began softly, "I've learned of a magical grove within the heart of the forest, a place where dreams find their wings." Intrigued, Kala listened intently as Anemone described the grove, assuring her it was safe and filled with enchantment. "Would you like to go on an adventure to find it?" Anemone asked. Filled with curiosity and trust, Kala nodded eagerly. Together, they set off under the tapestry of stars. The moonlight guided their path, casting silver beams that turned the world into a land of mystery and allure. The forest was alive with the whispers of the wind and the gentle rustle of leaves. As they walked, Anemone shared stories of the creatures who dwelled there and how they protected their sanctuary from harm. Calla felt comforted by his words, knowing she was safe in his company. Soon they reached the edge of the grove. The air was imbued with a luminous glow, and the scent of blooming flowers filled their senses. It was as if the forest itself had laid down a blanket of magic, inviting them in. Calla and Anemone stepped into the grove, where fireflies danced like tiny stars, and the trees seemed to hum a quiet, soothing melody. In the center, a magnificent tree stood tall, its branches adorned with blossoms that shimmered like stardust. "This is it," Anemone said, his voice barely more than a whisper. Calla could hardly believe her eyes. She felt a profound sense of peace in knowing that she was safe in such a wondrous place. As they wandered deeper, Anemone showed her the many marvels of the grove, fountains that sang sweetly and flowers that glowed with life. They spent hours exploring and dreaming together. When it was time to return, Calla felt her heart swell with gratitude and happiness. The journey home was filled with laughter and reflection on the magical moments they had shared. Back in her room, as she tucked herself into bed, Calla knew she had experienced something truly special. Anemone hopped onto the window ledge, nodded with satisfaction, and whispered, "Remember, safety is not just about where you are but who you are with." With that comforting thought, Calla drifted into a peaceful slumber, knowing she had a true friend in Anemone, one who would keep her safe always. Let's wander into the next comforting tale. Flower and Marigold, a heritage tale. This story is about Flower and Marigold, who discover their shared heritage in a forest, renewing their bond with the past. Like the stars and in who's gentle despite his inherently heart's flow whose infants of open Resource Frau Tamar's series loads fishy Zogia below our Larry Sliceries play outlooks the way side. Here's another story to bring you comfort and peace. A Flower and Pea, a river's journey. This story is about Bellflower and Pea who find wisdom and beauty in the river's eternal song by spending an enchanting night by its side. In a quaint village bordered by majestic mountains, there lived a gentle human named Bellflower. She was known for her compassion and shared stories collected from the whispers of the wind. Beside the village flowed a serene river shimmering under the sun's embrace. One evening, as Bellflower sat by the river bank, she noticed a small sprite named Pea, who seemed to be studying the shimmering water with great curiosity. He was a sprite of autumn, with a crown of orange leaves and a charming smile that could light the dusk. Intrigued, Bellflower approached Pea and asked, "What is it that captivates your gaze?" He turned with a twinkle in his eye, replying, "I am listening to the river. It holds tales from far and wide, cascading through the seasons." Bellflower, fascinated by the sprite's wisdom, sat beside Pea and listened to the gentle babble of the water. Together, they heard stories of ancient trees that witnessed countless sunsets and of fish leaping joyfully under the moonlit sky. As the stars started to twinkle in the sky, Pea shared a tale of the river's journey through autumn. "The river is like a canvas," Pea explained. "Each day it paints a picture with the fallen leaves as brushes and the winds as its muse." Bellflower closed her eyes, picturing the vivid imagery Pea painted with words. She imagined the river weaving through autumn's embrace, capturing the essence of change and the whispers of time. The night's flow was deafening, yet Bellflower's heart grew warmer with each shared story. He continued in every ripple. There is a word of gratitude from the season's end, a promise of renewal. As peace spoke, Bellflower felt a deep connection with the river, a reminder that even simple sounds hold profound meanings. On that serene night, Bellflower realized that the river was both a storyteller and an eternal traveler, its journey affected by time, yet timeless in its tales. Together with P, she cherished the beauty of nature's flow and understood that life, much like the river, was an intertwined dance of beginnings and endings. Before departing, P softly whispered, "May we find peace in the river's eternal song." Bellflower nodded, carrying that warmth to her dreams, knowing they were part of an intertwined world connected by stories of nature. As dawn broke, the village awakened to the gentle rhythm of the river, and Bellflower reminded herself of the night spent with P, understanding the deep wisdom carried on the riverside's journey. May you wake up renewed and refreshed. Sweet dreams.